Hello everyone, welcome to today's edition of Luxe Ledger. Today's edition is going to be all about financial news. We have financial results that we wanted to discuss from Puig to Prada to Golden Goose and Ferragamo. At the same time, we also wanted to mention that with the fashion month closing, the collections are up for discussion and we wanted to share with you our favorite from all the collections. And we'll do a specific video on that and put that in the collections playlist and hope you'll check that out soon. We will mention that in the description also so that you can check out what our collections playlist is all about. Coming back to financial results. So we had a couple of brands which announced their financial results. Let's start with Puig. Puig had a tremendous year. The Spanish-owned family, which owns the brand, reported a net sales of 4.3 billion euros, which is approximately a 19% increase compared to last year. And this is despite all the challenging economic and geopolitical conditions. And that is why even Mark Puig, who kind of reported this, was very happy about it. And we'll discuss how it kind of figures into their 5-year plan, which they have been able to kind of achieve within 3 years rather than 5 years. Let's get started with the net profit. Now, given 4.3 billion euros sales, the Puig net profit came across 465 million euros, which is approximately a 16% increase for like basis. And we also wanted to mention here that Puig in March 2021, they had presented a 3-year plan with the goal of reaching sales of 3 billion in 2023 and 4.5 billion euros by 2025. But as you can see that by the end of 2023, they have already been able to achieve the 4.5 billion goal that they set for themselves. And this is basically with sales almost tripling, and they have been able to achieve their goal earlier than expected. And with this, we also wanted to mention that their net debt is approximately 1.2 billion euros at the end of 2023. So what are the brands that are propelling this growth for Puig? Now, as you know that Puig owns a couple of very niche brands in terms of fashion also and in terms of makeup also. Now, Charlotte Tilbury was one brand which turned 10 last year, and it has been driving Puig's makeup business growth, and it has performed very strongly in markets like UK, North America, Europe, Middle East, Australia, and Singapore. And what's important to note is that with Charlotte Tilbury also, it is the Magic Cream which has been the highest grosser rather than just the makeup. So it is skincare within the beauty segment and for this group also which is driving the growth. It's mentioned here also, skincare eclipsed makeup as Puig category with the fastest growth with 31% margin, with 31% gross out of all the revenues at 431 million euros, which is a 10% of group's sales. Now, by geographical region, also Puig seems to have performed very good in almost all geographies, starting with Asia Pacific, where sales increased from 26% to 439 million euros, and this includes China also. Now, if you draw a comparison with Estee Lauder, which has been seeing a slowing of growth in China, Puig has been able to maintain its growth in the Asia Pacific region, especially with China driving the growth. And coming to other major geographies, sales in Europe, Middle East, Africa also rose. And you have other brands, for example, brands like Kama Ayurveda, which performed well in markets like UK and which also opened a store in Harrods at London. Now in Americas, also the sales were up and the sales reached 1.54 billion euros, which gained an 18%. Similarly, there was growth in Brazil, Mexico, and Chile also. And with respect to America, now Puig had opened a Miami travel retail hub, which reinforced the group's ambitions within the region and the channel. And the company's digital business also grew, and now it amounts to 26% of the company's total sales. So we have brands like Charlotte Tilbury at one end and niche brands like Dries Van Noten and Byredo, which are driving growth for Puig. Now, overall, it has been a tremendous year for Puig, and let's see how it moves further from here. Now, beyond this, we wanted to kind of take you through the results at Prada and Miu Miu. Now, the Prada group also reported a stellar performance in 2023 with the figures coming in at 58% net gain, and Miu Miu brand, which performed exceptionally strongly for the entire year. And it saw growth in almost all geographies, for example, in Asia Pacific, Europe, but had its outstanding performance in Japan. So for the 12 months ended December 31, Prada Group's revenues closed to around 4.72 billion euros, which compared to 4.2 billion euros in 2022 at constant exchange rate, the sales rose 17%. Net profit climbed 44% to 671 million euros compared with 465 million euros in 2022. And obviously, there is going to be a division between the retail and the wholesale, but we wanted to kind of focus on Miu Miu here. Miu Miu retail sales soared 58% and supposedly by all categories, ending the year with an 82% jump in the fourth quarter. And beyond this, we also know that Prada is kind of focusing a lot on sustainability also these days, and it has its specific brand, which is Green Island, which is kind of focused on bringing sustainability towards fashion and towards its brands and its groups. So, lastly, the retail sales in Asia Pacific grew 17% to 1.44 billion euros. The European sales increased by 10% to 1.31 billion euros. Sales in America decreased 2% to 767 million euros. Japan, as we said before, was the best performing region with a growth of 31%, and the sales came across to 484 million euros. The Middle East also delivered a strong performance, up 8%, and the net cash position stood at 197 million euros after 59 million euros of capital expenditure and cash out, which was due to strategic and real estate investments. Moving on to Golden Goose. Now, Golden Goose stays golden as revenues leap 18%, which is driven by the sales in its own stores, that is the direct-to-customer sales. Now, 2022 also was a very good year for Golden Goose. Now, after an unforgettable 2022, sales continued to soar for Golden Goose, and growth was largely driven by expansion and strong performance of the direct-to-consumer channel for Golden Goose. And last year, Golden Goose opened 21 stores. Now, for the end of 2023, there are approximately 191 stores which are directly operated by Golden Goose. So, in terms of figures, Golden Goose continued to grow with revenues rising 18% to 587 million euros. This is compared to just 500 million euros in 2022. So, that's pretty much what we wanted to discuss about Golden Goose, but there's an important detail out here, which is that Golden Goose, which was established in 2000 and which we all know is best known for its superstar sneaker, it was acquired by the private equity firm Permia from Carlyle European Buyout Fund, and its valuation was close to 1.28 billion euros. So you have to understand that Golden Goose is not an independently operated brand. It falls under the portfolio of the Permia Group. Now, Permia and El Caterton are two of the important private equity firms which invest in fashion and related fashion and related accessories. And they have been able to kind of perform exceptionally well, given how they kind of take a brand, help in the cost structure, help in the expansion, especially the international expansion, and deliver results. So beyond this, we wanted next to kind of focus on the Ferragamo results. Now, Ferragamo is one of the brands which a lot of people love. Like even we at Business of Luxury, we really like Ferragamo. But Ferragamo has been on a patchy path for the last couple of years, very similar to Burberry also. Burberry, after Christopher kind of left Burberry, so it kind of never found its ground in terms of connecting to the consumers, and it has been on a turnaround path ever since. Similarly for Ferragamo also. So, to be very frank, I haven't followed Ferragamo as much in terms of the different designers that have been working at Ferragamo, but yes, Ferragamo is also one of the major Italian brands which has been trying a turnaround for a couple of years now. Hopefully, we will see Ferragamo return to profit very soon. Now, the report says that Salvatore Ferragamo's saw a decline in 2023 sales and its profitability, but definitely the CEO is optimistic about the future growth plans. And to discuss the numbers, in 2023, Ferragamo's revenues were down 7.6% to 1.15 billion euros. That is compared to 1.25 billion euros at the end of 2022. And if we do a comparison, it is basically a sales decrease of 8.1%. And the net profit almost halved from 65 million euros to 26 million euros. And that's a huge decline in terms of profits. And investments in marketing and communication rose. Even with that increased investment in marketing and communications, we are seeing a decline in revenues as well as a decline in profits. And we also know that Ferragamo has a new creative designer as well as a new CEO. So hopefully with this new combination, we will start seeing some turnaround results very soon. But I think that's it for now. That's what we wanted to discuss in terms of the financial results for today. I hope you've enjoyed this session. If you have any suggestions, do leave them in the comments and we'll look into it as to how to kind of bring you the financial results, the back end part of luxury in a better way. And in the meantime, do stay tuned in for our collections feature. Thank you.